Minutes of quality TV. Inside is next.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Now, what y'all wanna do? Wanna be ballers, shot callers, brawlers? Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Just moments ago in Houston, the Rockets capping a furious 12-2 run late in the game to tie things up with the Indiana Pacers as Moochie Norris hits the three-pointer to tie the game up at 92 and send the game into overtime against the Indiana Pacers. Rudy Tomjanovich and the Rockets 14-0 against the Central. Still have a chance to keep that record intact, but they're down now 96-94 to the Indiana Pacers. We'll keep you up to speed on that game in the process of a half hour of Inside the NBA presented by Hyundai. I'm Ernie Johnson. This is Peter Vesey. Thanks for sticking around, folks. And I bet you're glad you did, because the overtime session of the Sacramento game was certainly a wild one. The Kings winning that game over the Orlando Magic, and some fireworks there in a 114-108.
I miss Kenny Smith being here, because during regulation, right at the end, he would have been yelling to the crew, overtime!
And I'm sure wherever he was tonight, and the crew was saying, hey, Kenny's not here to yell that tonight. And
I almost did.
The game goes to OT. But let's talk about what went on late in that game. Tracy McGrady and Bobby Jackson start wrestling around on the floor. Actually, you know, as we take a look at it, it'll be McGrady tossing the ball right at Bobby Jackson's noggin, and then it all breaks loose right here.
Ernie, I don't think there's any doubt that McGrady's at fault here. Having said that, I can't tell you, and I tell his people all the time, how proud I am of that kid for the way he's handled himself this year as the franchise player for the Magic. You know, people are coming at him every game. It's very frustrating at times to be manhandled. Not that he was manhandled in that situation. He definitely lost his cool and deserves to be suspended for starting the brawl. And, you know, unfortunately, Bobby Jackson's probably going to get a game also. But I just got a call from NBC. We're just hoping it's not 3-game suspension, because Orlando is playing the Lakers on Sunday. So
sliding an NBC promo into Inside the NBA very early now. But let's talk about the trade-off there. Certainly, Toronto comes out with the worst end of that thing. When you're in overtime and you lose McGrady, they lose Bobby Jackson.
Right. The only thing worse could have been if it happened in the first quarter instead of in that
it never would have gone to overtime.
That's right. We'd be out of here already. But, yeah, certainly in that kind of case, like Danny Ainge says, if you're going to get kicked out of the game, take somebody better with you. But again, I don't believe Jackson started it at all. I didn't see anything wrong with what he did. You know, you see that all the time. He didn't even do it hard. He just kind of reached out and touched the ball. Maybe he hit his hand slightly, and Tracy lost his cool. But you know what? It might have been conduct unbecoming a high school graduate, but for the most part, Ernie, this kid's been unbelievable to watch.
Certainly.
We got to give him one violation.
114-108 is the final score. Sacramento over Atlanta, or rather over Orlando.
Want to talk about Vlade?
No, let's talk about Doc Rivers first, because he is holding his post-game press conference, and we join it live.
And, Jackson incident. I was proud of our guys. I thought they fought back. I thought they really got caught up in the atmosphere early in the game. I thought we were playing exactly the way they wanted us to play at their speed. I thought we were really rushed, basically for a quarter and a half. And then we got back in the game and played our game. Thought we had the game under control down the stretch, and you know, we kept going to T-Mac, we kept going to Darrow, and just couldn't get shots to go in the basket for us. But turnovers probably is the #1 reason we lost the basketball game. 21 turnovers is far too many. We set the table to begin with, and we basically did it throughout the game.
Was McGrady's frustration with Jackson, or was it with Christie?
I don't know. I mean, I thought Christie did a pretty nice job. I still believe, you know, the refs didn't lose the game, but Tracy McGrady gets pushed down below every time he takes a shot. every time. I said it 100 times a day. Look low, look low. Every shot he was being pushed. Not one foul call on that. And that bugs the heck out of me because Weber drives, he gets bumped. They called a touch foul on Bo down the stretch. And it's a foul. So he probably was frustrated with it because he thought they were getting away with stuff. But, you know, obviously Tracy can't do what he did. But, you know, he threw a ball. That's a tech. The guy walked up on him and pushed him. That's different.
Okay, so Doc Rivers' take on the incident late in that game in overtime is Tracy McGrady. Again, if we've got it handy, if you're just joining us, we ought to show it to you again if you're just joining us to see exactly what precipitated this. And Tracy McGrady was fouled by Bobby Jackson and then responded to that just by a toss of the ball off of the face of Bobby Jackson, and then Jackson pushed him. And I don't know if we have the tape or not, but if we have it, why don't we roll that?
But you know what? I mean, what a shock that a coach is going to stick up for his franchise player and work the referees. He's even working the referees, Doc, for when McGrady comes off suspension, you know, talking about what happens down below. You know, if you want to say anything about the refs, I would have wished that Eddie Rush had jumped in there. I mean, when the ball was thrown, look at him. He's just standing there.
Right there, you see trouble's going to happen right there.
You know something big is going to happen. He just stood there and watched it. I mean, he should have been in there immediately in between those guys, and there would have been no suspension. There would have been only a technical foul. There wouldn't have been a fight. And
we wait to see now, you know, Stu Jackson's going to be looking at all kind of tape to see exactly who came off the bench and who might be sitting out in other games for coming off.
Right, Ernie, I don't think there's any doubt. The rules are incontrovertibly clear. That's for Charles Barkley to look up. That you do not go on the floor. I mean, it's happened how many times to the Knicks alone. You know, they step 2 steps onto the court during a brawl, and they are suspended. There is no question Vlade is going to get a game suspension for taking 2 or 3 giant steps.
However, he did try to sell it to Craig Sager as a peacemaker role, and we'll see if the NBA is buying into that.
Take it to NATO.
114 to 108, the final score. Other news tonight, the story out of Houston, Hakeem Olajuwon will miss the rest of the season, including the playoffs, if the Rockets make it. The Dream has what's being called a blood condition in his left leg. They're not calling it a blood clot, but it will be treated the same way with blood thinners, and it would be unsafe for Hakeem to play under those conditions. Olajuwon has played all 17 NBA seasons for the Rockets. He's 38. His NBA future is certainly clouded tonight. Well, when we come back on Inside the NBA, we're going to crank out the first bunch of highlights of the evening. A matchup of Olympic proportions, Ray Allen and Vince Carter of the Raptors. That's not all. We'll have the Atlanta Hawks and the Vancouver Grizzlies in a long-awaited matchup. And the New York Knicks trying to solidify their hold on the 3 spot.
Inside the NBA on TBS is brought to you by Hyundai, where the freedom of America's best warranty, the Hyundai Advantage, is standard equipment.
Sweet. You like?
I like.
Check this. Wait. Let's go. Come on.
The Tiburon from Hyundai, backed by America's best warranty plan. So you're free to take on the open road when you find it.
What's the easy way to get online? It's gotta be America Online. Easy.
I love hearing,
"You've got mail." Free 24-hour customer service.
Everyone I know is on AOL.
Easy.
My favorite feature on AOL is instant messages.
I feel real secure with AOL.
Easy.
With parental controls, I feel better about my kids being online.
AOL's the easy one.
So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call 1-800-4online. Easy. Yeah. In the city's most corrupt precinct, how long you survive, killer, depends on who you can trust.
I need backup. I promised I would always be my brother's keeper. I keep my promises.
No sunshine in this home. Only darkness every day. Exit Wounds, rated R. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
Hey, we hope you're going to watch Dinner and a Movie this Friday night because we're showing Turner and Hooch.
Oh, no, you're eating the car. Don't eat the car.
It stars one of the greatest actors in America. It also stars Tom Hanks.
And in honor of the movie, we're making canine grain dog biscuits.
Tastes like health food.
Why do dogs watch Dinner and a Movie?
Because they can.
This is what you can do if you've got thumbs.
Dinner and a Movie, Friday at 8:05 Eastern.
So go ahead, curl up and start licking your... What?
Only on the Superstation.
Fannie Mae Foundation presents NBA in the Neighborhood. Over the holidays, the Spurs' Avery Johnson and David Robinson and the Fannie Mae Foundation joined the Neighborhood Housing Services to build the 50th home in the past 8 years in San Antonio.
And this is the 50th house. There's 50 families that have got a chance to have their own space and get in their own house. It's pretty special.
This is my 8th year involved with the Fannie Mae Foundation, and it's great to know that you were on the ground stages of helping somebody build a home.
Just across the state in Houston, members of the Rockets helped put the finishing touches on a new homeowner and her family's first home.
Could you imagine having big-time players coming to work on my little house?
The Rockets' effort helped this family reach their dreams.
This is it. I don't need another Christmas present, birthday present. This is it for me. I love it. It's fantastic.
We welcome you back to Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. As we look in at the Compaq Center, where it's in overtime, the Pacers and the Houston Rockets all tied up at 102 with a shade under 17 seconds to play in that game. The Rockets at home, rallying with a 12-2 run late in the game to tie things up. Moochie Norris sent the game into overtime. And so now with under 17 to play, 102 apiece, Pete, between a hot Houston team trying to get in the top 8 in the West and a struggling Pacer bunch.
Right. You know, we say in my household that if you're having a problem hitting your three-point shot, schedule the Pacers. And Moochie's right in on that, because he...
102 apiece. Let's join Bill Worrell and Calvin Murphy courtside at Compaq Center.
All right, here we go, but we're not rooting for you right now, Tree.
Don't take it personal now.
Game tied at 102. Brandon Anderson will bring it in. Steve will have it. Miller playing defense. He'll hold it now. There it is, 8 seconds. Rockets get into the play. Francis going to the middle. Back outside. It's Mo Taylor's game. Oh, he missed a shot. And it went out of bounds.
They got a good look at it. They got what they wanted out of it.
Yep. Well, now they're going to probably add a little bit more to the clock, and Indiana will call a timeout.
1.1 they're going to put on that clock, Bill.
Final timeout by the Pacers. Mo Taylor just inside the three-point line. Oh. It hit a lot of rim, didn't it, Murph?
Oh, well, he shot that. Normally, he shoots a little softer arc to it. He shot straight at that rim that time.
So now we'll have 1.1 left. And that's still a lot of time. It is the NBA. Unless you have a friendly scorekeeper, and that's only in Utah.
Hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to be your friendly scorekeeper.
You're going to go down there?
As soon as the referee hands him the ball, big, game's over.
Well, you know, the referees keep the time now.
Yeah, well.
In the final seconds.
They'd have to call a timeout, check the scoreboard.
So realistically now, if you're Isaiah, what are you looking at here? A lob maybe to O'Neal underneath?
A back pick.
A back pick, a lob. You might have a time to get a hurried three off, but it might be worth the gamble to lob it at the basket to see what O'Neal
Sure,
can
what
do.
you got to lose?
So you have to be careful not to be picked from behind, right?
And
switch on everything?
Lord, switch on everything and do not foul anybody.
Well, you can tell this game means something to these two teams. Indiana trying to hold off Boston for the final playoff seeding in the East. The Rockets trying to get into the playoffs in the West. All right, now Al Harrington Washington will bring the ball in at midcourt. Cato is behind O'Neal at the free throw line. Harrington tried to throw it inside. Anderson hit it. O'Neal got it off in time, but it wouldn't have counted. No, he didn't get it off in time. So we're going to a second overtime.
That's bonus coverage here on Inside the NBA. Indiana and Houston. One overtime, just not enough. The 7th overtime game for Indiana. Houston, meantime, playing their 4th overtime game, and they're going to double OT at Compaq Center. Now, here on TBS tonight, you saw Sacramento and Orlando, the Kings winning that game. Mix up in there with Tracy McGrady and Bobby Jackson in overtime. Both of them kicked out of the game, and moments ago, Craig Sager caught up with T-Mac.
Well, Tracy, a great game, goes to overtime. You missed the last 35 seconds, the altercation with Bobby Jackson. What happened?
Well, the play was over with, and I was just turning around to shoot the ball, and he snatched me out the air. I threw the ball at him, and he came at me and pushed me, and it went from there. I was just defending myself.
What made you lose your cool?
Well, a guy come up and push me like that, it's going to be hard to hold back, and you know, I just retaliated.
Why'd you throw the ball at him, though?
Why did I throw the ball at him? I threw the ball at him because the play was dead, and I was just going up to shoot the ball. He yanked me out there.
Your coach, Doc Rivers, stuck up for you, said you'd been pushed, hacked, fouled all night long. They weren't making the calls. Was that accumulation of what had happened earlier in the game?
Well, I mean, that's been happening throughout the years. You know, I'm not getting calls. I'm going to the hole trying to be strong and aggressive, and no, I'm not getting any calls. And it seemed like every time tonight I was shooting the ball, they was hitting me on my elbow, so the call's not there, but just got to keep on playing. I mean, one of these days I will get calls. It's not happening right now.
Do you expect to be suspended?
You know, whatever they give me, you know, I'll take it, but I definitely don't deserve to be suspended. I didn't throw a punch. I didn't throw the first blow, so.
What happened after you guys got in a pile? There were so many people on top of us I really couldn't see.
Nothing happened. It was just we was tussled up, and, you know, guys was trying to break it up. That's it. No punches thrown.
In the immortal words of Popeye, I've had all I can stand. I can't stands no more. And Tracy McGrady throwing the line tonight, 25, 10, and 8 in the loss.
Ernie, I understand his frustration. I think he was more frustrated at that air ball that he threw up previously when Doug Christie had a hand in his face. He was probably still thinking about that. But to say that he was yanked out of the air by Bobby Jackson, that's an exaggeration. But you know, McGrady, as good as he is, I'll allow him that poetic license.
The Orlando Magic, poetic license and all, falling to the Sacramento Kings tonight at TD Waterhouse Center. Now, you've probably noticed that we do not have Kenny Smith with us tonight.
No, I hadn't.
Yeah, he was last seen at the ACC tournament, so we're still kind of looking around for him. You know, North Carolina lost to Duke on Sunday. Meantime, Toronto playing Milwaukee tonight, and George Karl watching Vince Carter and Ray Allen go head-to-head. Morris Peterson had a nice quarter, 14 in the first. Tim Thomas cans a 3, part of a 12-2 run. Bucks 66-56 at the half. Then Vince Carter makes his presence felt in the third quarter. On the alley-oop, he finished with 24 and 9, and that is not Kenny Smith. Ray Allen taking over in the third. He and Vince have had some great duels. They kind of bring the best out in each other. 29 points for Ray Allen, 12 of those coming in the third period.
They don't do bad against everybody else either. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's true. Almost deserving of Olympic team berths, I would think. Inside, look at Jerome Williams with a dunk. As Toronto tries to make a run, they closed to within 4 in the last minute. But then Sam Cassell hitting the jumper. Milwaukee only scores 11 points in the fourth quarter, but they still win the game. 101-97, snapping a 2-game losing streak. They hit 10 out of 23 from beyond the arc. They're the #1 team in the East in three-point percentage, and 30-14 now against the East, just 9-10 against the West. #1 team in the Eastern Conference.
Carter was the only Raptors starter to play in the entire fourth quarter.
Vince Carter finishing 24 points, 9 rebounds. Vancouver Grizzlies, Atlanta Hawks. The world waits for these highlights. It's Sharif Abdul-Rahim, product of Marietta, Georgia, returning home. And, of course, Mike Bibby and Jason Terry played at Arizona. Bibby, 27 points, all in the second half. Tony Kukoc, lighten it up from out there. In fact, Kukoc did what only Doc Rivers, Mookie Blaylock, and Dikembe Mutombo have done in Atlanta Hawk history. That's record a triple-double. 109-99, the Hawks winners over the Grizzlies, the third career triple-double for Kukoc. Had one in Chicago, had one in Philadelphia, and now one in Atlanta.
And look at Nazem Mohammed.
Yeah, he's 17 and 13.
17-13. This is a guy, Ernie, they were going to cut. They were going to cut him when they made that trade, and then they decided just to take a look, and he has been not spectacular. He's been very, very good.
He has certainly been solid. You talk about triple doubles with more than with 3 teams at least. Mark Jackson's done it with 5, Mickey Johnson 4, and you see the big group at 3, which now includes Tony Kukoc, who, as we said, had one with Chicago, one with Philadelphia, and now
Ernie, Mickey Johnson was the first guy to be named the point forward.
Really?
I nicknamed him the point forward. Don Nelson immediately stole it from me. But we'll talk about that later.
We certainly have a copyright controversy going on now. Charlie Ward walks the tightrope for the Knicks as they play at home tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he hits Glenn Rice. Rice had 17. Marcus Camby, this is tough to diagram. Look at this.
He's got great skills, Ernie, for a guy his size.
Search for Kenny goes on. We don't see him in there either. 18 and 7. Charlie Ward beats the buzzer at the end of the first half, 57-39 New York. Then Mark Jackson will find Allen Houston. Houston 20 on the night. The Knicks breezing over the Cleveland Cavaliers, 98-79. 6 straight wins at the Garden for the Knicks. Cavaliers have lost 20 of their last 23, have lost 5 straight on the road, and are now 8-31 since they lost to Zydrunas Ilgauskas, 98-79. The Knicks winners over the Cleveland Cavaliers. How about that showdown between the Bucks and the Raptors tonight? Milwaukee #1 in the East, and Toronto, if they have any thoughts of trying to catch them in the Central Division, those took a real hit tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucks coming off those two bad games that they just had. I mean, George Karl, you know he had to have his team sky high for this game. I mean, giving up 124 points the other night to the Cavaliers, who I believe were knocked out of contention sometime around the times that the Cleveland, or not the Cleveland Browns, but the Browns were knocked out. So, yeah, I mean, you knew that they'd be up for this team. Toronto, again, not playing anybody in the fourth quarter of their starting unit except Vince Carter. You know, Lenny Wilkins just went with the subs. They were down 19 at the beginning of the fourth, and just went with some energy guys. But, you know, it's funny how some guys will take that, Ernie. Now, Oakley, Antonio Davis, those guys have to sit, right? I mean, they're not used to that kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Then we saw another guy earlier today who had to sit in the fourth quarter, and I know he didn't take it well at all, Jason Williams of the Kings. And, you know, guys tell me around the club that whenever that happens, whether it's in the fourth quarter or he only plays 10 minutes in the first half or something like that, he will sulk the rest of the night. And for that reason, and the reason that, you know, here's a guy that is only averaging 10 points and 5 assists, and he's supposed to be the wizard with the ball. 5 assists on a team like the Kings averaging over 100 points a game. I say, look this summer, Ernie, for Jason Williams to be traded. They will try to trade him and pick up a guy. Maybe they can trade him for a Bibby or something like that.
And I say the good thing about sulking on the bench late in the game is if a fight does break out, that's one less guy you have to worry about getting up off the bench and getting on and joining the fray.
And I noticed Jason pushing all the point guards out on the floor. No, he wasn't.
Yeah. Bobby, throw another one. When Inside the NBA continues, we'll continue our look around an 8-game night. We'll be back.
Can't sleep.
Listen.
Rain?
Not just any rain. It's our rain. On our roof.
Each year, millions of people spend their first night in a home of their own.
Think it'll rain all night?
I hope so.
Call the Fannie Mae Foundation for a free guide to help put you on the path to home ownership and for a list of lenders and credit counselors.
Who else but crazy men would film their crimes?
2 visitors are about to bring America.
I want to know who these guys are, and I want to know now.
To its knees.
They had a video camera, and I just wanted them to get out of here.
In prime time. Now.
If it bleeds, it leads.
2 of New York's finest.
It's going down! Go!
Must stop the madness.
Will of the hunt.
Robert De Niro Edward Burns.
You want headlines? You want to be a celebrity? Shoot me!
15 minutes. Rated R. Now playing.
To be your best. To have the energy to work hard and play hard. Getting great sleep is where it all begins. Introducing the Nautilus Sleep System. The secret is our patent-pending air chambers. Each chamber has 2 zones that interlock to support and evenly distribute your weight to minimize pressure points around your hips and shoulders. With a push of a button, your side of the bed can change from soft to firm and anywhere in between to give you instant comfort. This innovative design is only available on the Nautilus Sleep System. In fact, Nautilus Sleep Systems are so comfortable and so durable, we back them with a 90-night, 100% satisfaction guarantee and a 20-year limited warranty. You can own one with no money down and payments as low as $30 per month. Get great sleep every night and wake up each morning with the energy to handle anything that comes your way. For a free video and brochure, call or go online at greatsleep.com. Nautilus Sleep Systems, leading the way to great sleep.
Inside the NBA is presented by
Hyundai.
Thank you, Pete. AutoZone's This Date in NBA History takes us back to 1989. Michael Jordan going for 21, 14, and 14, beginning a span in which he registered 12 triple-doubles in the Bulls' final 23 games of the season. Jordan would have 15 triple-doubles on the season, nowhere near the record. You know what the record is? 41 of those bad boys by Oscar Robertson in 61-62, a season in which he averaged a triple-double of 31, 13, and 11. And the list goes on. Oscar Robertson's name all over that. Now, Michael Jordan, the concept of him playing is certainly being thrown out there. In Sports Illustrated, Rick Riley has an article that says it's 90% done that he'll come back and play next year. He was talking about that earlier tonight on another broadcast outlet.
As you know, Charles has lost, he's lost 30. He still needs to lose about a 9th grader, but I think part of the fun for Jordan is to play with Charles. He's always wanted to play with Charles. I think, according to my guy, who's right with him all the time, Jordan wants to do what Mario Lemieux's doing. He also probably is getting sick of wearing a suit and trying to have the Wizards win with him in a suit. And he realizes, hey, I need a guy with a 15-foot jumper who can take it to the hole, who wants the rock at crunch time. That's me, you know?
And we'll certainly be able to talk to Sir Charles when he's in here tomorrow night about this situation.
I didn't realize that SI's circulation was down so much that they had to resort to this kind of stuff. But
you're not buying this, I take it, Pete.
No, I don't buy it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. First of all, I know Rick was quoted earlier tonight as saying that Michael's finger is fine when he cut it with the cigar cutter and he needed surgery on it. Michael told me himself, last year that he'd need more surgery on it because he can't control the ball, he can't control the shooting as well as he used to be able to. But why would he come back for what, a mid-level exception? I don't believe Michael's ever going to play for that. He's always said that he would only play for the Bulls. And what, he's going to come back and play for the Wizards and win? Is that what I heard Rick say? He's going to win? With who?
With Charles.
With Charles. Had he seen Charles play in the last couple of years? The Rockets couldn't win with him.
We have some issues to discuss tomorrow night on TNT. Now that you bring the Rockets up, let's show you the highlights of their game with the Pacers tonight, which has been a wild thing to say the least. Moochie Norris to Shandon Anderson. Houston trying to go 15-0 against the Central Division. But Indiana has been troublesome. Al Harrington ties the game, and then it's 92-89. Moochie Norris clutches that with under 5 seconds to play. They would go to overtime. And a pretty good look for Indiana to win at the end of regulation. Jermaine O'Neal and company go to OT. They go to double overtime. Jalen Rose hitting the three, 112 to 109. Let's look at the board. 18 seconds to play in the second OT, and Indiana clinging to that 3-point lead. Big 12-2 run down the stretch by Houston just to send that thing into overtime. It's 112 to 109. You talk about a team that needs wins badly. The Indiana Pacers are struggling to hang on to the number 8 spot, up by 2 in a loss column over the Celtics when the night began.
No question. I mean, they're out in Houston. They got Denver next. They're 2 games ahead of the 2 games in the loss column ahead of the Celtics, who are out west playing 3 games. So this is a real hard time for both of those teams. Let me just say one thing, though, that, you know, if you look at their 2 teams fighting for that 8th spot, each team is looking for a third scorer. You know, the Pacers have Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose, and the Celtics have Pierce and Antoine Walker. Now, who would you take? I'd take the Celtics 2 guys ahead of the Pacers 2 guys. I think anybody would. I mean, they're much younger, they're much bigger, they've got a lot more versatility to their games. So you would think that the Celtics would have a better chance, but I think that the younger players are starting to come on. Isaiah's been talking to Jermaine O'Neal an awful lot, talking to Harrington. They're really starting to produce a lot lately.
He talked to Al Harrington about being more like Darvin Ham, and Al kind of took that the wrong way until Isaiah said, look, I like the energy level that Darvin Ham brings. Right. I mean, Harrington doesn't realize yet what he needs to do for this team. I mean, he does not have to score. Yeah, it's great, you know, if he does become that third scorer that they're looking for on occasion, but really O'Neal should be the third scorer most of the time. Harrington should supply that energy. He's got an awful lot of talent, but he's got to adapt and be that role player that they need. We'll keep you up to speed on the Pacers, up by 3 in the closing seconds of the second overtime. When we come back here on Inside the NBA, which is presented, as always, proudly by Hyundai.
The Great Baseball Tour, coming to the Superstation in April.
Oh yes, a brilliant move. Galway scampering across the goal to stop it. They just couldn't seem to get enough players forward before. He's showing good fluid movement. To the right, the left. This is another aggressive charge down the flank. He's timed his run to absolute perfection. 2 defenders to beat. He's passed one. This is looking like a chance. Yes, he takes the shot.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
UEA, the multinational conglomerate, today to buy foreign factories in Kansas, Oklahoma, sources close to.
Ever get the feeling some people just stop trying? At Avis, we take a novel approach to service. We give it. Avis, we try harder.
If you can't stop here, stop here for 25% off the regular price of Midas VSD brake pads and shoes. They've got a lifetime guarantee and they're the best we've ever offered. They're quieter, they stop faster, and last longer. And if they wear out, we'll provide you with new ones at no charge for as long as you own your car. So for 25% off VSD brakes, go Midas.
We welcome you back to Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. Just as soon as we said it's 112-109, suddenly it's 112-112 as Coutinho Mobley hits that shot moments ago to tie the game at Houston in the second overtime. So what happens after that? Indiana's got a chance. Austin Crozier. It's off the mark. What do you say you go and play 3 overtimes? That's what they're going to do. It's 112 to 112. The Rockets again trying to stay unbeaten against the Central Division and stay in that race for the number 8 spot in the Western Conference. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot of stuff tonight. The Sacramento Kings beat the Orlando Magic here on TBS. There was a fight late in that game between Bobby Jackson and Tracy McGrady. You've already heard from Tracy McGrady talking to Craig Sager. Sager's also caught up with Bobby Jackson. Here's that.
Yeah, I'll probably be suspended, but, you know, I got to protect myself. I ain't going to let nobody run on me, though, you know what I'm saying?
Was this one incident with 35 seconds to go in the game, or was it an accumulation of things that happened throughout that was building?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what provoked it, but, I mean, like I said, I thought he was going to turn around and shoot a fadeaway jam. I slapped the ball, and he grabbed it and just hit me in my face. I mean, you tell me. I mean, I guess you got to look at it on tape.
Was this an isolated incident, or is there something between you two guys?
No, I mean, we ain't never had no beef against each other. I ain't got no beef against nobody. I get along with everybody, you know. I never had no tackle or nothing like that. So, you know, it's my first time. So, I mean, never been thrown out of the game. I guess my mom gonna get on me when I answer the phone. So, you know, gotta own up to that.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Heck of a way to spend your 28th birthday, and that's what it is today for Bobby Jackson, rolling around on the floor in Orlando.
You know
with
what?
Tracy McGrady. No, what?
Two good guys, though. I
Uh-huh.
mean, you know, you can just you interview him. You talk. The one guy's talking about his mom. You know, I mean, come on. He does feel bad. He's going to hear about it. You know, we talked about Bobby Jackson a couple weeks ago about what he's done for you know, Malik Sealy's family and stuff. He's a great guy, and it's a shame, and we'll forget about it very soon, I'm sure.
An emotional night down there in Orlando, and you can tell it was like 5 weeks to go in the regular season and playoff intensity getting there, and that was in full view tonight on TBS. We'll be back to wrap things up here on Inside the NBA.
Where's Kenny?
I don't. We may have an answer to that when we come back.
I heard SI's coming out with an article that he's coming out of retirement.
Introducing the most powerful Duracell Ultra ever. With new M3 technology, it's the most powerful alkaline battery in the world.
Never thought we'd get that brother of yours married off.
Yeah, no kidding.
How you doing? How's the kids?
Kids are good. You know, we're thinking of buying a house.
You got the down payment saved?
We're getting there.
How about your credit?
I don't know.
You don't know? You think buying a house is like buying a loaf of bread?
Understanding your credit is the first step toward owning a home. Call for the free guide on credit from the Fannie Mae Foundation and for a list of lenders and credit counselors.
Our guys inside said they took about 50 kilos of heroin.
Someone's having a big party tonight.
In the city's most corrupt precinct.
Used to work for internal affairs. How'd you know who you could trust?
Two honest men are about to bring justice to the law.
I want to catch all these guys at once. Stick it to them.
Ain't no sunshine in this song. Exit Wounds, rated R. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
If you called up most car insurance companies and asked for their competitors' rates, I don't think you'd like the reaction.
Progressive wants you to know that if you're not shopping around, you could be losing a lot of money.
Call Progressive at 1-800-AUTO-PRO. We'll give you our quote, and if you like, the rates from up to 3 other leading companies.
So call us right now at 1-800-AUTO-PRO.
We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
If we can't save you money on auto insurance, we'll tell you who can.
Shop and buy at Progressive.com or call 1-800-AUTO.
Introducing the most powerful Duracell Ultra ever. With new M3 technology, it's the most powerful alkaline battery in the world.
Inside the NBA on the Superstation is brought to you by AutoZone, the right part, the right price, and good advice.
Welcome back to Inside, presented by Hyundai. 119 to 114 now in the third overtime. They play this game much longer. Gar Hurd and Paul Westphal are going to want to play. Houston's leading by 5, and we cannot stay on the air till the conclusion of that game. You'll have to check out CNNSI or get a dish or something like that. But they're in the third overtime, and Houston is apparently about to beat the Indiana Pacers.
They should have gone to Hurd instead of Crozier for that final shot.
May have helped.
Hurd from 18.
Hey, we've talked at length about Kenny Smith not being here, have we not? And had a few crowd shots tonight around the league just to see if we could find him. We couldn't, but I understand that our production crew has now found a really cheap and cheesy way to. Man, was that? We apologize. Next on TBS, Mars Attacks, which ranks right up there with that Kenny Smith vignette. And that's a wrap for Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. For Peter Vesey, our entire TBS NBA Tuesday crew, Ernie Johnson bidding you a good night from Atlanta.